live from Tel Aviv, and it's in the central city of Tel Aviv, where sirens have sounded twice in the last hour, warning of incoming rockets from the Gaza Strip towards central parts of Israel. Millions of people racing to shelters. Sirens also sounding in the south, and just moments ago, sirens also sounding in Kfar Aza.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for coming to us from Israel. For our listeners who may not be familiar with your ministry, can you tell us where exactly you are right now in the land?
Yeah, we live in Beersheva, in the south of Israel, in the Negev.
Okay. A lot of us have been watching the news very closely, and Beersheva is one of those areas that has definitely been receiving rockets. Is that right?
Yeah, we received, especially on the first day, on the Shabbat, when it all started, we received many rockets, but since then, we have them at least once a day that we have to run to the bomb shelter.
What is your ministry like in the Beersheva area, Dov? What does the Lord have you doing there?
We work with the vulnerable people, with women. We have a shelter for women who were domestically abused or sexually abused, and we have a shelter for them, like a recovery. And we have also a home for men who are addicts, alcoholics, or drug addicts. And we have a soup kitchen in Tel Aviv also for the homeless people.
And for how many years have you been in the land of Israel and serving with Life in Messiah?
Oh, we immigrate from former Soviet Union, 1971. It's 52 years ago. I was 12 years old. And with Life in Messiah, more than 25 years that I'm working, and I am supported not only financially, but in many ways supported by Life in Messiah.
Obviously, these are very difficult days. I know that President Herzog recently said it was since the Holocaust that this many Jewish people have been killed in one day. Obviously, that is heartbreaking. It's terrible news, and it's moving a lot of people, both really around the world. It's moving them to prayer and compassion. Can you give us a sense, as an Israeli citizen yourself, right there on the ground, what are things like right now compared to a week ago? What's the national sentiment?
Yeah, they say that this is the 9/11 of Israel, but even much bigger. If you take the numbers, how big is the population of United States and Israel? So somebody said that we experienced that the 9/11 would be 37,000 people killed. So this what we feel now, for the size of the Israel, for the population.
Yeah.
So it's something, we still, my heart, I would say the nation is bleeding. We are all bleeding, and because we all know people who were captured or died. It's something really. It's like a Holocaust. Yeah, it's like a Holocaust. It's really terrible, all the crimes that they committed, and they were so cruel with murdering, our children, babies, women, old people. So yeah, the nation it's really broken, but we didn't lost hope. The nation is very strong. The people are strong, and we will win. Yeah, if the Lord's will, His strength, we will come out of it as winners. It's difficult to break the Jewish nation. Yeah, people are strong. That's what I feel on the street. Streets are completely empty. No cars, no people. It's like the Yom Kippur. So same. You don't see people on the street, but still everybody are strong here. The moral is strong.
Mm.
The soldiers are strong. Yeah, and the government, they're strong.
You mentioned the horrific acts that have been committed by Hamas. And, there may be some listeners out there who maybe have heard of Hamas. They understand they're a terrorist organization. But I think people now can really wake up to the reality that Hamas exists for the destruction of the state of Israel and the Jewish people. It's my understanding, based on news reports, that Israel is planning a ground incursion to dismantle this terrorist network. Is that your belief as well?
I think what they're trying to do now, it's more airstrikes. And they try to isolate Gaza. They stopped. It's what is the most interesting. I want to tell you that on one way we always knew who is Hamas, and that the Islam, they have one goal, it's to murder the Jewish people, because people don't understand it, but Islam is a satanic religion, and we are the chosen people of Israel. Mm-hmm. That's why they want to murder us, and nothing will help. But Israel always, I think they were, even now, Israeli people, they want to live in peace, in prosperity. They want to prosper. There are many gifted people here, and they want a nice future for their children. So we were always longing for the peace with Palestinians and with Gaza. And only now I realize that it's very interesting that Gaza, they receive their water and the electricity from Israel. Also the gasoline, also the food provision, most of it's come from us. And it's never stopped even when they shoot the rockets, every 6 months or something, they shoot hundreds of rockets on the cities of Israel, on the kindergartens, on the hospital. They want to kill us. And Israel at the same moment, like Jesus, was, teaching us here to how you call it? I mean,
to love those who hate
to love
you.
Yeah, and that's what Israel was doing for many years. But now, what's happening now? It stopped. They stopped. The Jewish nation and the government, the politician, they all, it was like an eye opener. What's happened?
Yeah.
Hamas, it's like the ISIS. It's the same. We hear stories that they cut heads of people, they murder, kill, shoot at children's heads.
Yeah.
I mean, these are not human beings, it's like Amalek in the Bible. And finally now Israelis, they can see it. So Israelis, they stopped, the water. They don't have water now. They don't have electricity anymore. They don't have food provision, and they have lots of Israel, from the air. All night I hear the noise of the aeroplanes, like army. You see, if they will leave, we cannot live anymore. If Hamas will exist, we cannot exist at the same time, and that's why all Israel understood. But I'm very much concerned if Israeli troops, you say, soldiers will get in,
right?
Because they have these rockets like the Ukrainians against the Russians. They have this rocket that you put on the shoulder and you hit the tank.
Yeah.
So I think it will be I hope that they will finish them from the air, and they will make them stand on their knees and cry out for help. The Hamas, the Palestinians, and they will all the captures. That they will let them out. They will release them, because they will not have food and water and electricity, and nothing,
Yeah.
If you understand me well.
Yeah.
So this is my hope here.
Yeah, and that's definitely a major prayer request are all of these hostages. It has been reported that Hamas has captured about 130 innocent civilians. You're talking about men, women, and children here, and taking them back into the Gaza Strip, where they no doubt are probably underground somewhere. But we'll see what happens. I know that it's possible there are some American Israelis in amongst the hostages as well. I know that at least 11 Americans have been recorded killed as well so far. How can believers be praying for Israel right now? I think a lot of people are wondering that. Yes, they want to pray for peace. They want to pray for the wounded and so forth. Any other specific ways that you would encourage us to be praying for your people?
Yeah, maybe only a word about the hostages. They took, children, and I saw a video when the children, like 5, 6 of them, kept in the cage. And as they were separate from their parents. And also they kept old ladies, 80 years old ladies with dementia, and then they took them also as hostages. And this is something, it's not human. So what the Israeli government, what they're telling now, we will fight like before they gave 1,000 terrorists for one soldier. Now they said we will fight like there are no hostages, you see?
Yeah. And I'm just...
So it's all just for you to understand that everything has changed. And now to pray for, as believers, we as Israelis, we always, we trust our army. It's the strongest army in the world, we believe. We trust our government. We trust our emergency systems. And now what we see, what they did, it was not Hamas. It's not even an army. It's a terrorist organization that just captured, villages and towns in Israel and killed, captured army bases and killed so many soldiers. So it's difficult. And where was the intelligence and all what we believe and all the... So the nation is really, lost hope in men. So we believe that in these times, one good thing can happen out of it. When you lose hope in men, usually they are looking for God. So we believe that they will start searching for the true God and that they will find Jesus. Yeah. So this is the hope.
Yeah.
This is the prayer.
That's right. And that is the prayer of all who are serving with life in a Messiah, that out of the terrible, terrible tragedy that is unfolding, that folks would not ultimately trust in militaries, as important as those are. Folks would not ultimately trust in politicians, as important as good politicians are. But there's only one who can be trusted, and that's the God of Israel. And
Amen.
He has sent his son as a willing sacrifice. Jesus willingly laid down his life on the cross for the people of Israel and the nations. And 3 days later, God raised him from the grave. And now all who put their faith in him are saved and given the gift of eternal life. And that is our encouragement to our listeners today. Perhaps folks are listening today, whether it be from Israel or someplace else around the globe. It doesn't take very long on this earth to realize that any trust ultimately placed in something other than God will let us down. But God is a solid rock, and he will never let us down. We can trust him with our eternity, with our very lives. And as you're working for and praying for that, Dov, we join you in that. And that's our prayer for Israel, is that all Israel would awaken to the reality of Yeshua as Messiah and ultimately be saved, which we know will happen in the future. And so we are trusting God for that. Dov, thank you very much for joining us from Israel.
Thank you, Levi.
We will continue to pray for you, for the ministry there, and all the believers in Israel, and for the current unfolding situation. Thank you for the work you're doing, brother.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, shalom.
Shalom, shalom. Blessings.